It's just few hours to Christmas, and you know what it is. It's in the air, talking about the aura and of the festivities. But when it comes to our own job, we are always here to serve you, talking about giving you the best of sports. And it is the arena. I'm Samson Oloide. It's coming to you live from our studios, iBrandTV, here in Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to the show. There's so much in store today as we look forward to the festive period, talking about Christmas, which, as I said earlier, is just a few hours away. But you know, sports doesn't stop. The basketball world will still be active when it comes to Christmas or the festive period. There are even basketball games on Christmas days. And when it comes to the Premier League as well, you have matches on Boxing Day. So there's so much sporting activity to look forward to. The tennis season may have ended. You also have the Formula 1 season that has ended. But when it comes to football and basketball, there's still so much to look forward to. Welcome to the show once again. Now let's begin the show with the Premier League. Remember, on Thursday, the Premier League had meetings, two distinctive meetings with coaches and also with captains and senior players of various teams. Now, regards the meetings, the Premier League basically had to discuss the welfare concerns as well as the fixture pile-up that has resulted from the surge in COVID-19 outbreaks in various clubs. Remember, so many football clubs are struggling to contain the virus at this stage. Remember, the Omicron variant is what is in town, and various clubs have players who have tested positive. Just last week, Monday, the Premier League had its recent round of tests, and over 90 players and staff were positive when the results came back. So it shows you that so much is at stake. Several matches have been postponed. You have over 12 matches postponed thus far this season in the Premier League due to the various COVID outbreaks in these teams. But in the meetings themselves, the prior concern were the number of games that will be played during the festive period, and managers as well as captains and senior players have called for the reduction of the number of games that will be played during this festive season. That also calls for concerns regards the reduced size of squad due to COVID. So many clubs have several players outside sidelined due to the COVID pandemic. So several clubs have a restricted number of players when it comes to prosecuting football games. One of the items that was also discussed had to be the issue of transparency regards postponement protocol. Several matches have been postponed, and some coaches also laid claim to why their own matches weren't called off. Remember, Rafael Benitez, the coach of Everton, questioned why the match against Burnley, which is slated for this weekend, was not called off when you had the likes of Liverpool against Leeds called off. Another issue that was also discussed is the issue of 5 substitutions. That was a law that was introduced into football last year due to the COVID pandemic, and the essence of that was to ensure that the wear and tear on the body was not, for the players, was not of grave concern. So 5 substitutions, but the Premier League still insisted on 3 substitutions when it comes to the substitutions in the Premier League, and now managers are calling for the return of 5 substitutions. They've also called for replays and 2-legged cup matches to be scrapped. In other words, the Carabao Cup semi-final fixtures, there's every possibility that rather than have it as a 2-legged affair, it will simply be a knockout match in a neutral venue with the winner moving ahead into the final. And you also have the FA Cup there. So many issues of concern for all stakeholders when it comes to the Premier League meeting, talking about the management, the board, the Premier League board, as well as the coaches and the captains of various teams. Let's see how that pans out when it comes to addressing these issues. But I think these issues are issues that need to be looked into a great deal, because you have some clubs that are left with just 16, 15 players. Remember, the likes of Chelsea and Liverpool fielded seemingly a weakened team, midweek during the Carabao Cup quarterfinals fixtures that they had to prosecute. And one of the reasons beyond injuries had to do with the fact that they had several players who were out due to COVID-19. So let's see how the Premier League handle these. Consultations are still ongoing, and we've heard that the 2 meetings that took place on Thursday, that won't be the end of it. There will be more meetings as the Premier League looks to navigate the muddy waters of this festive period and the congested fixture as well. I think the coaches are right to call for 5 substitutions also, because this is a very similar situation like that of last year when the law came into play in football regards 5 substitutions. Other leagues maintained it, but the Premier League went back to 3 substitutions. So it's very possible we'll see the return of 5 substitutions, and you can rest assured the big guns, the big clubs are the ones championing for this. Pep Guardiola of Manchester City, Jurgen Klopp of Liverpool, and the latest voice to that issue has to be Manchester United's Ralph Rangnick. All 3 of them are pushing for 5 substitutions to be returned into the game of football when it comes to the Premier League. So let's see how they address these issues. There were also talks regards fans' conduct when it comes to match postponement protocols and all of that, and we should be able to see fans in the stadium, although there's every possibility that with social distancing and all other COVID-19 protocols and measures will be put in place, the guidelines, just to ensure that everyone is safe even as they enjoy the game of football that they love so much. Now, still talking about the Premier League, let's delve into weekend matches. And remember, I said earlier, Liverpool against Leeds has been postponed. 2 matches, in fact, were postponed this week. So, well, it's left us with just 8 to go. But we're going to focus on Manchester City against Leicester City. That's a very big one. It's on Boxing Day. It's on Sunday. And you know what it is? It's table toppers Manchester City hosting a very struggling Leicester City. The form is fluctuating. Just 2 days back, they lost a two-goal lead to Liverpool to crash out of the Carabao Cup on penalties. And I think this time around, Brendan Rodgers and his lads will be looking to bounce back. Let's see how they're able to do that. It's going to be at the Etihad Stadium. And for Manchester City, they have quite a decent squad to prosecute these ones. The big guns are not out injured or out with COVID when it comes to the regular suspects like Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. You also have Raheem Sterling in the mix as well as Riyad Mahrez. So it's almost like a full-strength squad for Pep Guardiola. While for Leicester City, they've had their own concerns regards COVID, and we'll see how Brendan Rodgers lines up when it comes to facing City away from home. For Leicester City, as I said earlier, the form has been fluctuating, and this is a stern test, especially following the collapse midweek that we saw against Liverpool. So this is a very stern test. Let's see how he's able to pass the test, he and his lads. And moving away from there to Villa Park, where Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa will be welcoming Chelsea. Now that's one to look forward to because Steven Gerrard has won 4 of 6 games, and the 2 losses he has suffered are in the hands of the title contenders, Manchester City 2-1, and Liverpool a lone goal defeat. So it shows you that when it comes to impact, Gerrard has hit the ground running at Aston Villa, and he will be looking forward to carry that momentum, especially against Chelsea, another big gun. This time around, the game is at Villa Park, and for Gerrard, he has his team, just 2 players are out due to COVID-19. So it's a full-strength team for Steven Gerrard as well, and we should expect the very best from Aston Villa. For Chelsea, they have injury concerns here and there, but the good news is that N'Golo Kante, Romelu Lukaku all returned negative COVID-19 test results during the week. So they should have a run-in when it comes to this game. Remember, Lukaku is just getting back from his injury, so he still needs more game time to be able to get into his rhythm. But we should expect a decent game, and let's see how that pans out, as Chelsea are currently 3rd and are really losing track of Liverpool and City, who are at the top of the standing, talking about the top 2 at this point in time. It's basically halfway to the marathon of the season, and you can be rest assured that Chelsea will most likely be in the mix when it comes to title contenders by May, between Manchester City and Liverpool as well. Now let's move away from there and talk about a Brazilian legend. Pelé has been discharged from the hospital in Sao Paulo after undergoing treatment for colon tumor. Now this is a football legend that has given his all to the game, and at 81 years old, the 3-time World Cup winner had surgery. He's been dealing with several health issues in recent years. In 2015, he had prostate surgery in 2015, and in 2019 he also had urinary infection and had to be admitted. These health issues made him hospitalized, had him hospitalized for several months, I beg your pardon. So for Pelé, he's 81, and it's quite understandable that his health is fragile at this stage, but it's good to see that he's in a good, he's stable and is in good health. The doctors there said he's stable and will continue his treatment at home. So the 81-year-old it will be back home. And remember that in September, it was also at the hospital to remove the tumor, talking about the colon tumor. So the doctor said it still needs chemotherapy. We'll be keeping tabs with the legend himself, and we hope that he's in good spirits, as his presence in the football world is still very, very important and useful for the young lads to, you know, emulate when it comes to his wealth of experience and advice. Pele has given us so much, and we wish him the very best. He's still Brazil's leading goal scorer, having scored 77 goals in 92 games, although that record will soon fall apart as Neymar is very, very close to equaling and also supplanting it. That's, you know, that's barring any life career-threatening injury. You expect Neymar to surpass Pele within the next 6 months or 1 year at most. So, but the legend himself is out of the hospital, and it's good news there. Let's go on a quick break right now. When we return, we'll be talking about the business aspect of sports generally. Just stick around.
Christmas is here again, but it means different things to different people. For some, it means sharing gifts and spreading happiness.
Some will say Christmas is about holidays and sharing food.
For others, Christmas is about music, caroling, candlelight, and fireworks.
At iBrandTV, Christmas for us is about adding colors to your television, bringing you the brightest of holiday contents, news, and events all across the globe. From now into the new year.
This is wishing our esteemed viewers the warmest Christmas greetings from all of us at iBrandTV.
Wishing you a season that's merry and bright with light and love from iBrandTV, where business comes first.
Christmas in Nigeria is undoubtedly a family event, a time where lots of family members come together to celebrate and have fun. Many families will throw parties that will last the whole night on Christmas Eve. Then, on Christmas morning, they all go to various worship centers, caroling all the way with so much excitement and thanksgiving in the air. Homes and streets are often decorated with shiny lights of different colors. Most homes do have a Christmas tree placed in strategic places with lots of lights and ornaments as part of the festivities. Wishing you and your family a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from iBrandTV, where business comes first.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still the arena right here on iBrandTV, coming to you live from our studios in Lagos, Nigeria. Now it's time to talk about business when it comes to sports. I will start with the world of football, where AC Milan and Inter Milan have announced a new stadium that will be called the Cathedral, and it's worth $733 million. Now, it must be said that it's a renovation or a remodeling of the historic San Siro Stadium that is well known when it comes to the world of football. And with regards to the stadium, it must be said that the architectural firm that is in charge of the design is Populous, is called Populous, and Populous is a very famous architectural firm when it comes to the world of football, having designed several stadia, including Arsenal's Emirates Stadium, Tottenham Hotspur's new White Hart Lane Stadium, amongst others. So the Cathedral will be the new home for AC Milan, and it is set to have greenery area outside the stadium. It will have water and electricity technology. It will also be carbon neutral and LEED certified. So there's so much of technology and renovations that is coming into the new stadium, and AC Milan and Inter Milan will be looking at having one of the biggest and best stadiums when it comes to technology and various facilities. Now, it must be said that this follows suit in line with the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid, who are also remodeling their stadia. Remember, Barcelona's board approved a $1.6 billion stadium renovation just last week, while Real Madrid have over $700 million to renovate the Bernabeu Stadium. So it's the latest when it comes to stadium renovations or remodeling, as clubs seek to expand their seating capacity and, more importantly, bring their various facilities up to date to modern day technology, as well as modern day beauty and aesthetics. Now let's leave there and talk about the gaming industry. Now, Flutter Entertainment, the owners of FanDuel, have purchased Italy's oldest gaming company, also known as Sisal. Now, this deal is worth over $2.2 billion, talking about the takeover of Sisal by Flutter. And this deal would see Flutter Entertainment I beg your pardon, which was also purchased by CVC Capital Partners for $1.1 billion in 2016. Sisal will gain access to Flutter's gaming content and its existing brands, PokerStars and Betfair. Flutter generated $1.2 billion in the third quarter of 2021, which was a 12% increase compared to that period last year. So it's all about the business, it's all about the money. And when it comes to the gaming industry, so much innovations are coming into play, and archaic firms are now being bought over by the modern techs that would look to put back interest and traction to the gaming industry. It's not just about the PlayStation now, that other outfits as well that would also try to push for their own gaming stake when it comes to the gaming industry. So let's see how Flutter Entertainment fares, having purchased Sisal from for $2.2 billion, I beg your pardon. Now let's talk about the world of tennis, and this time around we'll be talking about the Australian Open, the 2022 Australian Open that will be taking place in Melbourne. Andy Murray, former British world #1, Andy Murray has been given a wild card to participate in the 2022 edition of the Australian Open. Remember, he missed that of this year, having tested positive to COVID-19, and he just couldn't participate at Melbourne last year. The last time he played at Melbourne was in 2019, so it's good to have Andy Murray back when it comes to the Australian Open. He's a 5-time runner-up at the competition, so I'm sure we'll be looking at making a great stride this time around, although his recent injury woes will not make him one of the favorites when it comes to getting the title. But we should see Andy Murray play so well, and he has expressed his satisfaction and gratitude at having been given the white card. We should see the former British world #1 participate so well when it comes to this. Quickly, let's move on to Nick Kyrgios, the Australian maverick in the world of tennis, who is also participating at the Australian Open 2022. He has taken a wild card for the ATP tournament, in the 250 tournament in Melbourne, which will serve as a warm-up event for the Australian Open, and he has stated that he intends to play so well, having had his Nick Kyrgios Foundation now. So he's not just playing for himself, now he's playing for the children that look up to him, as well as his fans. Kyrgios is often known for his maverick and maniac attitudes or conduct on the tour and also on the court. So we hope to see the very best of Nick Kyrgios when it comes to conduct both on and off the court. No doubt about it, his abilities when it comes to tennis is not questioned. What has been questioned over time has always been his attitude. But this time around, it seems to be maturing, and we should give him the benefit of doubt. And let's see how he fares, talking about the ATP 250 tournament in Melbourne, as well as the Australian Open Australian Open Grand Slam. Now let's move on quickly to the world of basketball, where the Lakers lost once again, and it's the 4th successive loss in a row. This time around, they lost despite LeBron James scoring 36 points. In the last game, he scored 34 points. They lost. Now it's 36 points. There's so much, yet so little the man can do when others are not stepping up to the plate. Westbrook had 30 points for the Lakers, but they still lost to the Spurs in a blowout loss of 138 to 110 points loss. And the Lakers are short-handed, they're short-handed because they're missing likes of Trevor Ariza, you have Kent Benzamo, you have Malik Monk, and their coach as well, talking about Frank Vogel, is also out. That's the 3rd successive game he has missed. All of them are in the NBA's COVID-19 health and safety protocols. So they're basically quarantining, so to speak. And for the Lakers, they need to get results, in their favor, because the race for the playoff spot is slipping through their fingers right about now. 4 successive losses. They need to put an end to that dismal run. Still talking about the NBA, you have the Warriors, talking about Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry, their talisman, who exploded with 46 points as the Warriors registered another win once again to cement their place as the leading team when it comes to the Western Conference. And it was the Grizzlies who were at the receiving end of things, talking about Curry's 46 points. This time around, the Golden State Warriors were able to make it count. Moving on in the world of basketball, we're talking about the Golden State Warriors, who won once again as Steph Curry exploded with 46 points to lead the team past the Grizzlies. And this time around, it was Steph Curry who made things happen against Ja Morant, who is just returning after suffering that knee injury. It's the second successive game. He was only able to score 21 points for the Memphis Grizzlies, while for Steph Curry, his 46 points was able, I beg your pardon, to see the Warriors through to another win. They are the #1 team when it comes to the Western Conference. And that's how much we can take on today's edition of the show. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been The Arena, and I'm thankful to you as well as all the production crew members who made this possible. Do stay safe. Have a great weekend. God bless you.